Ben sustained an injury at the end of the first half. We went in at halftime. He needed to be evaluated. An X-ray was a part of that. Getting the X-ray executed was not a fluid thing. Oftentimes it's not a fluid thing, to be honest with you.
Hi everybody, welcome to Steelers Live, a Tomlin Tuesday edition. You heard Coach Tomlin right there talking about Ben Roethlisberger and his rib injury. We found out today he has several rib contusions. Might be limited during the early portions of the week, but should be good to go on Sunday against the Patriots. But as you heard from Coach there, that's how he started his press conference today, taking us through the timeline of what exactly happened. It was this sack right before Ben threw the touchdown to Juju Smith-Schuster at the end of the first half. That's where Ben said he realized he wasn't feeling right, things were wrong. He left with about 10 seconds left on the clock to go into the locker room early on halftime. That is when he was joined by a staff member from the Steelers medical staff and also general manager Kevin Colbert. Coach Tomlin said he needed to get an X-ray, but finding the X-ray room and even the X-ray machine at the Coliseum in Oakland was a little outdated, so they didn't get a good read in terms of what exactly the injury was. Ben, though, was able to come back out to the sideline at some point during the third quarter, but there were two offensive drives when Ben was out on the field that Josh Dobbs stayed in. Now, Dobbs obviously was not getting it done for the Steelers, and there were also some problems on defense, so it became an emergency situation, and Coach says that is why they put number 7 back into the game.
Because of the lack of information, we thought that the best thing to do, the most prudent thing to do, would to be only to make Ben available in an emergency-like situation was exactly what we did in Cincinnati several years ago because of lack of information.
All right, now Ben was able to help and obviously give the Steelers the lead, but then the Raiders came back and there wasn't enough time for number 7 to do it again. So again, as I said, Coach Tomlin said Ben had an MRI on Monday. It does show that he has rib contusions, so it's a pain management thing he will be dealing with this week. Two other injuries, though, to tell you about from Coach Tomlin. Of course, an update on James Conner and also Marcus Gilbert. Of course, neither Conner or Gilbert played in Oakland. Coach Tomlin did not rule out James Conner today like he did last Tuesday. Said he had a good week of practice last week in terms of rehab and trying to take care of that ankle contusion. Not sure of his status yet for Sunday. The Steelers don't practice for the first time this week until tomorrow here at the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex. The same could be said for Gilbert, and today Coach was asked if Gilbert can finally return to the lineup. Is he the starter at right tackle?
Again, it depends on what he looks like. First, he's got to get medical clearance, and then we base it on his performance. So it's availability and performance. And that's not exclusive to him. It's the same for James Conner or anybody else that we've kind of talked about in this capacity. That's why I'm thoughtful about the words that I say every week. We'll let his availability be our guide and then the quality of his work within that availability.
All right, so as I said, practice resuming on Wednesday. There will be a ton of players to keep an eye on this week as they prepare to host the New England Patriots on Sunday at Heinz Field. A lot more coming from Coach Tomlin's press conference. They are holding tryouts for kickers, but that also includes Chris Boswell. We'll explain right after this break.
Open to all possibilities as we stand here this afternoon in preparation in an effort to change that outcome. One thing that we're not going to do is we're not going to hope and wish. We're not going to go through our processes in the manner in which we have and just hope that the outcome changes.
All right, that was Coach Tomlin earlier today, and that could go for a number of areas concerning the Steelers' 3-game losing streak. But we have to talk about Chris Boswell. Had a chance to tie the game and send it into overtime in Oakland. Slipped and missed that last chance at that field goal to take it into OT. Now, that was not his first miss on Sunday. He actually missed a field goal earlier in the game, and when you lose by 3, missing 5 extra points this season, 10 of 16 in field goal attempts throughout this season. It's been a rocky road for Chris Boswell, to say the least. Coach Tomlin has stuck by him for most of the season, but today announcing to the media they are holding tryouts for kickers, but that also includes Chris Boswell trying out for his own job.
We acknowledge that Chris has struggled. We acknowledge that Chris has struggled to find consistent footing. We're willing to explore options that gives us the very best chances of that ball going through the uprights this weekend. That being said, those options include Chris. You know, this time of year, we're cognizant of what's available. And, you know, the prudent approach is to include Chris in those options. And that's what we intend to do.
All right, the Steelers not getting anything from their run game that they were anticipating against Oakland, whose defense is not good statistically and on paper. But in the month of December, which includes 2 of the Steelers' last 3 losses, the Steelers have run only 36 times for a combined 105 yards. As I said, they don't know yet if James Conner will be good to go against New England today. Coach Tomlin commented on the lack in the run game.
You know, I don't know, man. Obviously, who we're utilizing is an element of it. Game circumstance, obviously, is an element of it. You know, we're on a losing streak here, and we haven't been running the ball effectively. So, obviously, we better analyze that as well among some of the other things that we've discussed here.
The Steelers' defense in recent weeks talking about trying to hit their stride again, as we saw in the midst of their 6-game winning streak, getting takeaways, more pressure on the quarterback. Some things worked on the earlier portion of the day Sunday against the Oakland Raiders, but in the stretch after Ben Roethlisberger gave them back the lead and a chance to win the game, the defense not coming up big. Here's Coach Tomlin on struggles on the defensive side.
Obviously, it's really disappointing how the game ended, particularly because we weren't able to stand up in that moment defensively, and really that's the second time in 2 weeks we weren't able to stand up in that moment. We accept responsibility for that. We also acknowledge that, you know, Oakland made some plays, and, you know, we'd be less than professional if we didn't tip our caps to Derek Carr and that group, man. He made some really, really tough combative throws, and they made some tough combative catches.
All right, it will not get easier for the Steelers defense as Tom Brady and the New England Patriots come to town on Sunday. Still trying to get out of the rut of a 3-game loss, and also defending Rob Gronkowski. Today, Coach Tomlin was asked, how do you cover him and stop him from what he's been doing to the Steelers so well in recent years?
I think when you play a guy like him, it's going to take multiple people and multiple techniques. So, yes.
Have you seen anything work over the years?
You know, yes, but, you know, we haven't been a part of it. You know, we're looking to be.
All right, it's a huge understatement, but a big, big week here in Pittsburgh for the Steelers as they prepare for New England. We, of course, will keep you covered when practice starts on Wednesday here at the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex. That's going to do it for this Tomlin Tuesday edition of Steelers Live. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great night.